May the peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you all. I was asked the question, what does Ahmed Al-Hasan mean to you recently? I've thought about it often prior to being asked because I always wondered how could I ever express what Ahmed Al-Hasan, peace be upon him, means to me in words. I'm sure that sentiment is shared by a lot of people. Not only do I struggle to describe what Ahmed Al-Hasan means to me, but I almost don't know where to begin. Because ever since I can remember, I've been looking for the one, even if not consciously, maybe subconsciously. I would look for people who had more knowledge or experience to show me the way, to guide me. Now we do this as children naturally, but certainly once you start to contemplate the existence of a God, and you think that the evidence points to his existence, you start to ask bigger questions about God, like what is the purpose of everything? What is our mission in life? Why are we here? Yet many of us grow up surrounded by other people who also say they believe in a God. Not only that, they say they have the answers and they have the rules by which we're supposed to live our lives. And they have an ideology that they've adopted and they follow, and of course they believe their way is the right way. Or they simply follow the religion they were raised on. Despite the multitude of choices in religion and ideologies, the many religions that exist out there, and they never ask why. It begins for most of us at the level of our families and what they believe. We often adopt the religion that our families follow since it's instilled in us at a very, very young age. Our families, individuals, communities, they in general accept the religion they grew up with and were taught was the truth, and they teach it to us as if it's the correct way, usually the only way. And my situation was no different, but I saw so many problems and issues with what I was being told that I should believe. Sometimes people would insist on something that the religion clearly required of them, but for others, not for themselves. They would make statements, but when questioned, they couldn't or didn't justify their position or belief. They would give orders to others, even children, that their religion commanded, but they wouldn't explain or justify their commands. It was essentially to say, just believe in what I say, without explanations or thought. Don't question, just comply. I thought there must be something wrong with me, or at the very least, there was something I was missing. If there was a religion from God, it could not be like this. I became very disillusioned. The behavior of certain people of religion was discouraging. It seemed that to have compliance without belief or understanding was what mattered most. So, feeling very unworthy anyway, and that there must be someone who knew more than I, or at least had some answers, I started to look for the one. I went through so many scholars of religion. I looked at other religions and nothing was working. I wanted my doubts to go away. I wanted to find what was true, but I kept running into a brick wall. Every time I thought I had found the scholar of religious figure to follow, thinking, aha, this is the one who will save me and make me worthy and a better person. This is the one who will teach me what I need to know. The one who will pray for me and ask God for me to guide me and to help me just to be saved. I can't do it since I'm such a bad person and I don't have the piety that other people do. This is the one person, that one with the truth, the one who will show me the way. But every single time, ultimately, I was left disappointed and disillusioned. Eventually, I realized that they were no different than I was. They didn't have the answers, nor did they have that secret, the key. The difference was, however, that they pretended that they had the answers, or maybe even convinced themselves that they did. And I wasn't interested in pretending or delusional thinking or going with the flow. even if something wasn't quite right. I didn't want to be a big faker. Too much of my life had gone by in delusion and chaos. Nevertheless, ultimately, I was left with big questions with no answers. Why did God create us? Why are we here? But most importantly, why would God leave us here and then say, you over there? Here you go, now you're on earth with no one to guide you except some books that everybody has a different opinion about. Now sink or swim. Why are there so many opinions? How is there any way that a bunch of opinions in matters of religion or ideologies are acceptable? And not only do we have different opinions in religions and ideologies, but also you'll find that for one verse of a holy book, one verse of the Quran example, you'll find so many different interpretations. How are all of those right or acceptable? How is it that if there is a God, he would leave us in such a confused state with no clear and solid guidance? It was beyond me, but I didn't have any answers. I gave up and just thought to myself, okay, the Quran, I know that's true. That's all I may ever know. I will never know why people say, without even batting an eyelid, that Adam's children committed incest, but I'm not teaching that to my children. Adam was 90 feet tall? What? Eve was created from the rib of Adam? That was so embarrassing to me. I can't conceive of it making any sense from a physical standpoint. And I thought, I don't even want to imagine what that is because I don't understand how it could be. It doesn't make any sense. In fact, I really had nothing to say about it. And regarding the theory of evolution, why did those bad scientists come up with that evolution theory to deceive the world? Is science all false? I studied enough science to know that many things were true. But what I'd heard from the religious people was that the theory of evolution is from Satan. And I heard that even in college, that you should never listen to what they say about evolution because it's an evil theory. And there was one thing I would contemplate and never understand. Adam's physical body came into existence just like that as an adult, and everything else came into existence just like that too? Hearing the opinions and explanations that didn't make sense was just too overwhelming, so I gave up on looking for the one and I focused on the Quran. Not even the meaning other than in a general way, but rather by memorizing it. And all that time searching and hoping for the one, and he didn't arrive. But then, step by step, one door opening after another, and there he was. It was the one. And how did I know that? Because when you're looking for the truth, and searching, and thinking, and praying for it, and you leave no stone unturned, but you can't find it, when the truth presents itself to you, it's unmistakable, undeniable. And the truth is with Ahmed Al-Hasan, the one who came with the banner of supremacy of God over supremacy of the people, supremacy of God over all the people, the one who seeks justice for all people, and to feed the poor, comfort the widow, and end oppression, injustice, and tyranny throughout the land, the one who lives by a moral code that's an example for us to follow, who deems himself no better than anyone else and sees himself as the shortcomer, the one mentioned in a religious text, the will of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family, the one who so many people across the world have seen in their visions as the appointed messenger, the one I thought I would never find or see in my lifetime. I never dreamed of it. He answered and continues to answer so many questions that I thought would never be answered. And so what does Ahmed Al-Hasan mean to me? He is the vindication for all the times I've been told my questions were silly or irrelevant, or worse, shouldn't be asked at all. Ahmed Al-Hasan means peace, comfort, tranquility, a future with a clear and sound path for our children, and a guide. He's the one who I've never seen slandered in such a way, that never slanders. He brings beauty and kindness to the world. He brings justice, fairness, and sound evidence. He brings truth, and he empowers the people with sound knowledge and encourages them to act on that knowledge. He is the beacon of light in the midst of confusion and delusion. And last but not least, Ahmed Al-Hasan inspires us and gives us hope for a better world. For me, Ahmed Al-Hasan is our hope. Thanks to all of you, and bless you all, and thanks for having me in this discussion on what Ahmed Al-Hasan means to me.